Welcome to Module 1 of the LEAP Legal Resource Training Series, brought to you by the Access to Justice Program of the Louisiana State Bar Association and the Law Library of Louisiana. My name is Stephanie Bowe, and I work for the Louisiana State Bar Association's Access to Justice Department. In this video, I will be providing a brief introduction to Louisiana's access to justice issues, including barriers caused by poverty and problems that many self-represented litigants face. In Parts 2 and 3, Sarah Pick with the Law Library of Louisiana will provide explanations of law and appropriate legal reference services, including the unauthorized practice of law. In Part 4, I will provide a more in-depth overview of the various legal resources created or supported by the Louisiana State Bar Association, many of them free and available for you and your library patrons. The Louisiana State Bar Association and its Access to Justice Department support access to civil legal aid through training, resources, and education for legal aid attorneys, judicial staff, the private bar, and the public. One such supportive program is LEAP. LEAP stands for Legal Education and Assistance Program. It is a collaborative effort between the Louisiana State Bar Association, the Law Library of Louisiana, the Louisiana Library Association, and other legal aid partners. LEAP's goal is to provide training and resources to help empower public librarians to serve the legal reference needs of their patrons. Before diving into resources, it is important to get an overview of poverty in Louisiana because socioeconomic factors play a major role in a person's ability to access the legal system to resolve a justice problem. For many years now, Louisiana has consistently ranked either first or second in the nation for the highest rate of poverty. In 2021, Louisiana had the highest rate of poverty in the country at 19.6%, with nearly 900,000 people living at or below 100% of the poverty level. Keep in mind, the federal poverty rate is a very low threshold. In 2021, a family of four was considered in poverty if they earned $27,750 per year or less. Even people who are employed can struggle to make ends meet. The United Way completed a study where they looked at the struggles of households that earn above the federal poverty level, but not enough to afford basic necessities to survive. The study discovered that a, quote, survival budget, which is the bare minimum needed to cover necessities, requires a single adult to earn an hourly wage of $12.13. An hourly wage of $34.87 is required to support two adults and two children. Yet, the study also revealed that the median hourly wage for the most common occupation in Louisiana was $9.10, while Louisiana's minimum wage is still at $7.25 an hour. Using this information, the United Way found a large portion of Louisiana's population fall into the category of ALICE, an acronym for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed. According to their study, ALICE individuals accounted for 33% of the Louisiana population, on top of the 18% living in poverty. Taken together, this makes up more than half of the households in Louisiana that struggle to afford basic necessities. In 2020, the Louisiana Access to Justice Commission took some of this information and underwent an 18-month study and strategic planning project under the National Center for State Courts Justice for All program. The map here shows the key findings from the project. The dark red areas indicate parishes with over 50% of their population living in high poverty rates. And if they fall outside of the purple areas, then civil legal resources, such as legal aid offices, self-help centers, and law libraries, are over a 45-minute drive away, which is also sometimes referred to as a civil legal resource desert. One of the consequences of such a staggering poverty rate is high legal needs. Roughly 74% of low-income households in the United States experienced at least one civil legal problem, which can include problems with health care, housing conditions, disability access, veterans benefits, and domestic violence. Yet, of those low-income households who reported experiencing a civil legal problem, only 25% sought professional legal help. Unlike criminal cases, in civil matters, a person does not have a right to an attorney. This means that they must either hire an attorney, get help from a legal aid organization, represent themselves, or not access the legal system altogether. In Louisiana, there are two civil legal aid programs, Acadiana Legal Service Corporation and Southeast Louisiana Legal Services. Together, they both provide free civil legal services to those who meet certain income requirements. The cases handled by these offices include family law matters, such as if there is a domestic violence and/or contested custody issue, successions, wills, powers of attorney, housing and eviction matters, government benefits, child in need of care, disaster-related issues, and more. The stars on the map shown here are the physical office locations across the state. These two legal aid programs provide legal assistance for the whole state, yet they do not have physical offices in each parish. Generally, to qualify for free legal aid services, people must be at or below 125% of the federal poverty guidelines, although there are some exceptions under certain grants. Generally, for a single person, this means earning less than $16,988, and for a family of four, this means earning less than $33,688. But due to their limited resources, almost 50% of people are turned away from legal aid services. Pro bono attorneys. These are attorneys who provide legal services for free, and they are an important tool in the fight for access to justice. This map illustrates the different pro bono providers in Louisiana. In areas without pro bono providers, there may still be individual attorneys willing to provide pro bono legal representation. In Louisiana, it is estimated that attorneys provide over 110,000 pro bono hours each year, either through pro bono providers or individually. Yet, this is still not enough. Pro bono representation is important, but unfortunately will never meet the demand of the people in need of counsel who cannot afford to hire an attorney. Because of the difficulties accessing or affording legal services, especially in the civil legal resource deserts, people often attempt to represent themselves in court. These people are called self-represented litigants, or SRLs, and are also sometimes referred to as pro se. The number of self-represented litigants has risen sharply in the last decade, in part due to economic downturn. While the actual number of people representing themselves each day in court is difficult to establish, it is estimated that 75% of cases have at least one unrepresented litigant. The court system is not designed for people without attorneys. Courts are set up to be adversarial. There is confusing legal jargon or legalese and complicated rules and procedures, all of which are unfamiliar to people negotiating the legal system by themselves. Not only do courts not provide any special provisions for people in court without an attorney, court staff are prohibited from providing any type of advice and most forms of assistance because of the concerns around the unauthorized practice of law. Previously, there was a lot of confusion about what judges could and could not say to unrepresented people in court. In 2013, the Louisiana Supreme Court amended its Code of Judicial Conduct to provide further guidance on how judges can interact with self-represented litigants in their courtroom. It is now accepted that judges can maintain impartiality and still help a self-represented litigant by explaining legal concepts, providing information about the proceedings and evidentiary requirements, and by referring them to available resources. However, the decision to provide referrals is at the judge's discretion, and judges are still bound by the rules of evidence and procedure. Many patrons will want to quickly access a form or self-help solution. Increasingly, this means that self-represented litigants purchase online forms, which are not always reliable, and no refund is available if the forms are not accepted by the court. Similarly, some legal issues are not straightforward and require specialized knowledge of areas of law and procedure. Self-represented litigants often face additional challenges, including unrealistic expectations around time, cost, outcomes, and procedural difficulties because of incorrect forms and pleadings. It is little wonder, then, that many self-represented litigants find the process of representing themselves to be daunting, costly, and unrewarding. Luckily, in Louisiana, there are many available resources and programs designed for self-represented litigants so that they can either be referred to an attorney or provided with appropriate material to represent themselves successfully. High poverty rates, increased legal needs, and complex legal issues. It is little wonder, then, why many self-represented litigants find the process of representing themselves to be so daunting. But all of these issues highlight exactly why libraries are so important. Libraries are trusted pillars in their communities, with at least one library in every parish. They are the front lines of serving the public. Often, when someone has a legal issue and they do not know where to go, they will turn to libraries first. Luckily, in Louisiana, there are many available resources and programs designed for self-represented litigants so they can either be referred to an attorney or provided with appropriate materials to represent themselves. Many of these resources will be explained in greater detail in subsequent parts of this series. For more information about resources for self-represented litigants in your jurisdiction, please contact me, LSBA Projects Counsel Stephanie Bowe, at my email address listed on the slide. Thank you.